as well? Not. I think your mic is closed now. August. Not sure. You there?
Yeah, I was saying hi guys. My internet is not very, it's not the best today. Don't know why.
It might be the weather. Hey, I saw the weather is pretty bad on your side.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, gents, welcome. It's a new week, so let's just quickly run over the news. Hope you guys are well. I see we have Timothy, we have Ramiz, Pedro, and Carl. Um, yeah, okay. So let me quickly share my screen. I'm not gonna stay too long tonight. Um, so yeah, hope you guys are well. Let me just grab the news here for us. Hey Eddie, I see you joined us now as well. What's up? All right, so I think you guys can all see my screen. I can see it on my side here. But yeah, today was a US bank holiday. I didn't trade today, although I was looking for something just to trade on these evaluations, just to try and pass quickly. I saw a move, but I didn't really get an entry opportunity. I'll show you guys in a bit. But yeah, today not really too much to look forward to because of the low volume. So let's quickly move on to tomorrow. So tomorrow we don't have any US news. However, we do have some GBP news. I might look to find a move from 9 a.m. or between 9 and 12 a.m. South African time, or 12 p.m. rather, to see if there's anything there. But yeah, I might look at GU this week. And then on Wednesday, we have GBP CPI coming out, so that could also be a nice London session opportunity for me right there. And then we have these World Economic Forum annual meetings happening. So this is an all-day event. If you are trading a prop firm account, I wouldn't urge you to trade that at all because it's an all-day event, um, and the high volatility can come out at any time. You know, so if I'm looking to trade, I'm looking to trade GBP, but not GBP USD. I might look at GJ or something to that extent, right? But I wouldn't look at anything US related. Um, but yeah, and then at 3:30, Trump is speaking as well. He might say some BS regarding that incident of him wanting to take over Greenland and all of this nonsense. So you might see some volatility in and around this time. So this day is not really a prop firm trading day for me. I'll mainly take any trades on this day on my personal account, right? So yeah, let's move on to Thursday. Thursday we have some more um, GDP news coming out. So that's for the US dollar, and then we have some core PCE data coming out as well. Because these two news events are so close to each other, I will be looking to trade the impulse entry strategy, just to see if I get a nice impulsive move after the news comes out, and then here after 5 p.m. if I don't get an entry at 3:30 or 4:30, then after 5 p.m. I'll mainly be looking to take a possible swing trade up until later the evening, where I might look to cross that trade over into the next day, right? Just in terms of volume. The volume that we saw last week wasn't really nice follow through volume. It was more some volume to bring us into a bit more of a consolidation. We did not see that push to the highs that I was expecting, and price pulled a bit lower, which was, one of my concerns, especially in and around the area we were at. Right? Now, looking at Friday, Friday is looking very busy, right? We have some GBP news coming out, retail sales at 9 a.m., and then we have some European news also coming out. So that's the flash manufacturing PMI data coming out. And then we have some flash PMI manufacturing and services data coming out for GBP as well, which is looking very interesting. So all of this, lots of craziness, right, can bring lots of volatility, lots of instability. So I might look to trade gold during the London session, especially on Friday. And then at 4:45 p.m. This is now after the New York Stock Exchange opens. We are expecting some PMI data to come out. Not really the best time, because then we have the market opening volume come in, or volatility, and then the market will then wait for 4:45 p.m. To see if there's a possible move based on this PMI data. It's like I said, not the best, but if I take a move here, it will most likely be after 5 p.m. because I won't take an impulsive move after 4:45, because the 1 hour candle would then still print out or open for the next hour, which would then give me some more confirmation as to what price wants to do. Okay, so this week is looking very busy. Lots of different news that could bring in lots of volatility, and then Trump is up to his shenanigans as well. He also then stated that he would imply some more tariffs on some countries, which could then also bring some more fear into the market. And not the best in terms of consistent volume this week. However, lots of volatility, and that's why I'll mostly be looking to trade the impulsive structure as opposed to the swing trading. Not setup, but structure rather, right? But it also depends on what time and price is going to give me. If I just see lots of chop during the earlier parts of the sessions, I won't really be looking to enter anything. But if I find something, that I can enter and then get a possible move throughout the night, I'll do so. And like I said, with these prop firm accounts that I'm trading, I am going to be a lot more risky. So I will be, taking some trades where all of the confluences don't necessarily line up, because I'm just looking to pass fast and to stack some accounts, right? So I'm not looking to baby anything. Just looking to pass and to stack up some more funding. So yeah, let's quickly hop on over to US 500. Let me just grab the charts here for us. Oh, these allergies, man. I'm not sure if you guys are also struggling. My eyes have been itching like crazy. Okay. I think you should be able to see the charts. There we go. So today this was the move I was looking at. Unfortunately, during this time, my wife wanted to go out to the shops, and I told her, give me half an hour. She gave me half an hour, and then after I came back, I saw that the move had already run. But my alert wasn't triggered because I was waiting for price to come into this this 5-minute imbalance right here for an impulsive move. So yeah, I'm a bit bummed that I missed this opportunity, but it's all good. It could have been a nice, phase one or phase two passed in one trade, but it's all good. So yeah, looking at structure today, we obviously opened lower due to Trump and his tariff news. That is why the market was a lot more bearish on the open. It also, well, it is also partly due to price closing bearish last week with this daily bearish order block, right? So coming into the week, I already knew that we were most likely going to trade a bit more bearish during the start of the week, but I was not expecting this up until Saturday's news dropped. And then, yeah, this was obviously the low with the highest amount of liquidity at this point, right? This daily order block. Let me just remove the rest here. And that is what we can see that price targeted, right? So this objective for the week is now already complete. Now we are kind of stuck in terms of structure, right? Because the market opened with this big opening gap here on the daily, we are expecting price to pull back into this opening range right here. But because it opened so low and also so close to the next daily order block low, we need to wait for structure to form to see, what the week will actually do and how we can benefit off of it, right? In terms of structure, price is about 50% of the way from either side. So it all depends on how today closes, obviously, and how tomorrow opens and the next day. So I would say I might only be able to find a good structural move on US 500 on Wednesday, right? So yeah, during the early parts of the week, it would be very tough to trade this market because of this gap right here. But yeah, we'll see. That's also why I'll also be looking to just trade those impulsive moves on the days, right? So let me remove all this structure. We see that, well, we saw that price had already taken out this low, and now we are stuck here, right? Yeah, structure is a bit more bearish, like I said, during the opening part of the week. So I am expecting price to consolidate in and around this area for a bit, and then possibly create some structure where we can either continue to take out this next low here, which I doubt would happen, but yeah, because we have all of this news going on, anything can happen. So that is one scenario of what could happen. Or another possibility of what could happen is we might find some structure in and around this area. Price might break lower, taking out some 1 hour liquidity and then driving price up to this imbalance where we'll most likely consolidate again to find structure, or what price could do is just boom, take out the previous daily order block high, right? So a bit of a messy week this week, but we make the best of it. Let me show the move I was looking at today and what my thoughts were regarding it. Just delete this alert. Okay, so today's move, we obviously very bearish, right? But because there is very little volume in the market and it was a US bank holiday, what we typically see is structure prevail, right? We typically see that structure always finds its way, especially when it comes to consolidation, manipulation, and distribution, right? Or accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. Because there's not this big objective for price to fill. It's a very small objective that price needs to fill on the day, and that's why we typically see, those ranges being taken out and then being filled. So in terms of structure, let's see here, that is my 8 a.m. candle. And then in terms of the 1 hour order block lows, this was the previous 1 hour order block low. And the high is this one right here that was not invalidated yet. Okay, so if we now drop down to the 5-minute time frame, we can see that we had our typical opening range structure, consolidation, we had a small form of manipulation, and then distribution, right? Because this is a higher probability sweep, all right, let me just grab this here, a higher probability sweep and a higher probability 5-minute order block, I was looking to take that entry off of this close back into the range, right? However, because the 1 hour structure was still bearish, I was a little bit reluctant to take price or take entry on that first 5-minute candle in the range, right? Which is what I would typically do if structure was on my side in terms of 1 hour, in terms of the 1 hour candle. I would typically enter right here as soon as price closes or opens in the range. But because the 1 hour was still quite bearish, I was reluctant to take it, also because the daily is pretty bearish still, right? So I wanted price to come into this 5-minute imbalance right here, at least halfway, and then find an entry in and around this area. We can see that price slightly tapped just past this previous 5-minute candle, showing us that there is still some unfinished business down here, okay, which is why we might not have seen, that big push in volume to take price to the highs, and that's why price consolidated in and around this area a little bit longer, right? And yeah, missed this move, but it's all good. The reason I also did not enter, for a possible 1 to 2 here was because on the 5-minute and 15-minute structure, I did not believe that price was not going to run into these lows, mainly because of the structure that was forming here, right? So I was still hopeful. It didn't work out that way, but it's all good. We move to the next one. And also because I am taking these impulsive moves, I do want a bit of a bigger risk to reward in terms of structure, okay, where I could possibly just move my stop a bit lower to give me a bit more of leeway for price to take out the high. I don't really want to take trades so high into the range or into the, well, in between the 1 hour order blocks, because my probabilities are then a bit lower, especially on the impulsive entries, right? Because you're taking entries so low, your win rate is obviously a bit lower, right? So I would lose a few more trades before I get that one big 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 possible move, which is what I'm looking for. Okay. And yeah, that was what I was looking for today. So good. For this week, like I said, we are in a bit of a mixed bag. So yeah, it's like a smarty box. You don't know which color you're gonna get on the day. So yeah, I'll just be waiting for some structure to build during the first part of the week before I set a clear bias. Okay, right now I don't have a clear bias yet, although overall structure is bullish. The structure for the week opened bearish, but in terms of daily structure, there's also nothing really to work off of because we had already taken out that daily objective for the week. Okay. If we look at the monthly structure, like I said, overall price is still pretty bullish. Not the best structure that we've seen so far, but the monthly is still pretty bullish, and then the weekly is bearish, right? On the weekly, we do have this bullish weekly order block that was formed. Okay, right there, and we have this bearish weekly order block right here. Okay, let's just quickly measure it in terms of the fib ranges. Okay, so if I take my fib from the low to the high, right, I can see that price had already there we go, had already touched the 78.6% fib. It broke past the 78.6% fib right here, and just going to the daily, we also don't have any real structure form in and around this area yet, right? So for the week on the daily time frame, what could happen is, or what is most likely to happen is, we might see some structure build right here for the next week. Okay, what price could do is, if the daily breaks past this low of the 78.6% fib and closes below it, this would then be our, or my next target rather, right, these lows. But yeah, for now there's nothing sensible yet on US 500. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. Do you guys have any questions or any concerns?
So
Mm-hmm.
I was just with this opening of this candle after the meeting, and then like this is also something that yeah that it needs to go in. There's to be full, obviously, because of just how the price dropped. But now with you explaining that, so it makes more sense now also for me to see because of it's on all the pairs that I have, like on EU to the US pairs, where there's huge gap in the market is. So I
Ramiz,
was a bit worried about that, but now,
Ramiz,
yes.
sorry man, I can't hear you too well. It sounds a bit muffled. Um,
Oh, I think it was probably my headset that I have on.
it's possible, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
It's a little bit clearer. Let me just try and increase my volume here. Maybe that. Okay, let's give it one more go.
But in short, it was just in short, it's basically just this huge gap that we have, and then you explaining that it needs to be filled again before moving into the extend again, because at first when you see it, it's a bit, you don't know what's next because of
Yeah,
how big that gap is.
yeah, yeah,
So you're explaining it now,
yeah.
um, just makes it a bit more clear.
Okay, okay. Now I'm happy to hear that, man. But yeah, this structure can really throw you off. Especially if you're looking to take trades during the early parts of the week. And like you said, I think I heard most of the other pairs kind of opened the same. If we look at it, this is EJ, right? EJ also opened in a similar fashion, but price broke higher there and already closed that gap. And then did GU do the same? Yeah, GU also opened pretty bearish, and yeah, this was still from Friday. Friday there was no move here on GJ. Only later during um, the session, see a Sunday, saw that gap, and then the full already on Sunday on GU. Right, so a lot more volatile today on GU. Not really anything conducive. But yeah, these types of moves can become confusing at times. But this is obviously data driven, based on what the news says, and then we just need to wait for price to price it back in, or some different forms of data to then take us to close those gaps. But yeah, I was a bit pissed off last week because structure was so beautiful for US 500 to go bullish. But yeah, what there was also something that Trump mentioned, which then tanked the markets that I didn't even see. So we were facing a bit of consolidation last week, but in terms of structure for price to go bullish, it was beautiful, like textbook. But hey, it's all good. We just need to adjust and move on. But yeah, any other questions, guys? Any other concerns?
Okay, on US 500,
Uh-huh.
I see there's a lot of corrective movements, especially on when I go to the 4 hour time frame.
Mm,
The structure is very corrective. It doesn't have um, too much of momentous impulses.
mm, mm,
So yeah, and then up until that gap that was created, because of it, it moves as if it's running out of steam, especially going bullish on the 4 hour structure.
mm. Let me
And
take a
then the
look.
break, I see that if you check there on the H4,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the gap, that gap created, it's a little bit of a, I think it's that candle looks like it's out of structure. It broke out of the structure or something.
Which one? This
So
one here?
yeah, no, the last candle, the last H4 candle.
This one here.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So so if we look at the structure on H4, right? We would look at it in the same sense as we look at every other time frame, right? In terms of liquidity and in terms of structure. So we would only have a clear or a set bias, if price breaks past, this form of highs, right? So if you want to base it off of the 4 hour structure, price would then need to break with a candle body outside of this 4 hour order block range, right? To have a proper structured move where you're like, okay, price broke past the highs, it closed past the highs. Now the next form of liquidity, because price had now taken out the 4 hour highs, the next point of liquidity would then be this opening range gap, right? This is basically a fair value gap that would need to be filled, and it would work in the same way, right? So price would then need to fill this here because there's a void in liquidity and it needs to be priced in. See? Yeah. Yeah, but it's pretty similar on the 1 hour time frame. The reason I just like looking at the 1 hour structure as opposed to 4 hour is the 1 hour gives me a lot more details in terms of, you know, how the bodies close. If you were to, well, if I were to swing trade or position trade, right, and find entries that I would let run for, let's say 2-3 weeks, then I would look at the 4 hour. But because I'm only looking to swing trades, you know, overnight in most cases, or you know, just an intraday swing, that's why I look at the 1 hour. But if you were to then possibly want to use the 4 hour for structure, right, then you could still take entries on the 5 or 3 minute or 1 minute, you know, and then work with that. But it's pretty similar to the 1 hour. That's why I just look at 1 hour. But yeah, also a very good question that you had, and a very good you know, analysis that you also had in terms of structure. It is very corrective in terms of what price is doing, but that is also mainly because we don't have proper sentiment yet. There's no clear what's the word now? There's no clear alignment with price and with the fundamentals, right? So in most cases, what we have been seeing for the past few months is either fundamentals are bullish or bearish. But let's say fundamentals are bearish, then structure might be bullish, right? And that's why people don't necessarily want to take those trades. Or in the opposite, where structure or price action is bearish, but the data or the fundamentals are bullish, you know. So yeah, that's really why we are seeing moves like this, where price consolidates, boom, takes out a high, comes back, takes out a low. Price is just ranging, as opposed to what we saw a few months ago, where we had all of this beautiful bullish momentum, right? Here, just bullish, 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 bullish. Because in these cases, we had structure aligning with data, with fundamentals, structure and fundamentals. But since here, like a few weeks ago, right, or a few months rather, here we've been seeing that, you know, structure and price is not aligning, but overall price is still bullish. You know, the S&P 500 will, in most cases, just trend bullish, right? And that's why I'd say 80% of the moves I take on this index is just bullish. It's so easy, you know.
So in this case, then, which means in the overall bullish, we have to look for the buys.
Yeah,
Based on the lower time frames, we must always look for the buys because of I think we will be in line with the bullish overall structure.
yeah, yeah. So overall, So what sometimes happens is, right, you can be right in terms of the buyers, but then the timing is very important and the structure with that buyers, you know. If either one of those are out, then it could throw your trade out of sync, you know. So you might enter too early, or you might enter too late, or you might miss a move completely because either one of those aren't lining up, you know. So
Okay.
yeah, the timing aspect is what we really need to focus on in terms of finding those entries. But overall, the bias and the direction of the market is still bullish. It's just getting that solid entry to take that trend, you know. And this week is just a waiting game for structure, right? The daily and weekly structure to line up with the overall bias of the market. And sorry, once structure lines up with the overall bias and we get some good data that is also positive, that is then a setup for a good possible entry or good possible move, right? Especially if we swing trading. But if I were to day trade or to take those impulsive moves, I'm just looking for the next daily objective for the market to fill. Here, the market had already filled the daily objective for the week to take out this daily order block low. You see, now we're just sitting and waiting again, which is the difficult part. So price either now needs to come into the range and close in the range, so we can go and close this opening gap, or we need to find actual structure outside of the range with a possible bullish, a possible bearish order block opening right here, okay, for price to then take out this next set of lows, right? But that is then also dependent on data and depending on the day, time and price. So a few things need to line up still. So US 500, yeah, I probably won't trade this market this often this week, but I'll still mark out my daily structures and look for those setups daily that I can send to you guys. But yeah, any other questions, guys? None? Everyone good? Okay, so
Good. Thanks, John.
nice. If you guys are good, I'm good. Yeah, let's hope for a better week this week. On my side, I was able to scrape some profits out of a few different markets, but as you guys know, I mainly only send a US 500 on here for consistency and for continuity, which doesn't often bring those consistent moves that you can post and see. But hey, it's all good. It's for the betterment. But yeah, guys, have a good night. All the best, and let me know if there's anything. Cheers for now. Bye.
Cool. Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Thanks.
Cheers, gents. Cheers, gents.
Cheers.
Sure.